look past it.
Put your eyes back in your head.
Knocked out like flavor. Flavor.
Pry their eyes open and force them to see the truth. We will skin the sheep and sacrifice the weak. The unholy alliance has arrived.
Well, what's going on, people? What's going on, people? It is Monday afternoon, as you already know. It is the Originators, the Unholy Alliance style. I am your host this evening, as you already know. It's the Pie May, aka 6MK. On the stage left, we got the Senator, Brad Mike, Sports.
Pleasure principle.
And right below us, you know him as the Joker. You know him as the villain tactician, Mr. Tactician ATL, aka Juan Costello. What's happening? What's happening?
What's going on? Y'all better not be out there sniffing cereal.
Well, since we over here with the originators, you know this is the time for the foolishness to begin this week. And before we do that, let's go ahead and give shouts out to the people that's already in the chat. And what do we call that, Mike? It's the what? It's the
Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. The real roll call.
rolleth of the car.
It's
And,
roll call.
and today's roll call, we have Deshaun Caswell, we got King Treyway, got my family over here, A137. We got Horace Miller, Michael, and Diamond in the building. Diamond in the sky.
Diamond in the building.
We can roll up high.
I would say Horace got an old ass name, but my name older than time, so I'm
Man,
gonna just let him pass on that.
nigga, your name is associated with the fallen angels, nigga. So you
Right.
ain't
So
got shit to say.
I was gonna make fun of him, but I think I'll shut up.
No,
He is the Mike of the House of L.
All right. I'm gonna bow out of that joke. Okay.
yeah. That's a very interesting joke right there. But hey, man, fellas, how y'all doing this evening, man? How you doing this evening?
I'm lazy. I just had food.
See, you got the opposite effect on when it comes down to food. Dunn, it seems like he gets more excited and animated when he had food.
Well, I can do that when it's fruits and vegetables, but I had grease and I had a steak sandwich, so I ain't no good.
So you just had fat food. Fat food.
I tried to get
I
them.
was gonna make another bad joke.
I know.
I was gonna say you had that Lizzo food, but Lizzo don't lose weight, so I'll leave her alone.
Well, if you're gonna say I had that Lizzo food, then she must be 180 pounds now. So I
like I said, my jokes ain't hitting the day right now. I'm gonna just stop joking today.
I ain't gonna lie to him. My stomach's
Nah. He had that Dave Staples food. That's a difference. That motherfucker said he said one of his concerts he was gonna stage dive off the stage. I'm like, who the fuck gonna catch your big ass?
And
No,
no,
nobody.
great. Look. Gravity didn't even want to get in that fight.
Hell no. Gravity. Motherfucker gonna be floating
Right.
in the air like he a Jedi. Ain't nobody finna catch your big
Nah,
ass.
nah. I don't think the force could hold him up high. But
Listen,
all right. Well, what'd you say? One.
I was about to say, yeah, nah, he ain't diving in the pool. He ain't diving on people. He ain't even diving on gravity. Yeah, he just need to sit this one out completely.
I mean, he already be sitting on the couch on the stage, so shit, he ain't got that far to goddamn fall down.
Ain't that an insurance liability?
Look, I don't damn know. But let's go ahead and get right into this damn show. D Sloan said, "What up, fellas?" And we getting right into the conversation we have today. As y'all already see, the topic for today's episode is more Michael Penix, less Bijan Robinson. And D Sloan has a comment here that says, two impactful running backs, pressure on BJ will ease overtime throughout the games, and that will give him breathing room when it comes down to him executing in the pass game.
Mm, mm. Interesting statement, D. Sloan. I like it. I like it.
hmm Okay. So, like I said, today's episode, more Michael Penix, less Bijan Robinson. Um, And we also kind of have a little bit of a STS style topic to talk about as well, but we'll probably save that one for the end of the show.
K Styles, can we do this like Sesame Street? And I know Mike looking at me like I'm crazy, but I want to start it off like Sesame Street.
Okay, all right, go ahead, start it off.
Today, boys and girls, we're going to start the show off with the word balance. Can you say balance? Because the people that don't understand English or Japtalian are going to think we're hating on Bijan. So I'm going to explain the word balance. Put your red and blacks in the chat if you know about the word balance. Now, Bijan Robinson, what my brother eloquently put up there in the bubble, means he's not going to get as many touches as you think. But it's not because we don't love him. It's not because he's not the number 3 running back in the league. It's because we're going to have balance, which means that we're going to have a passing game that's worth a damn. And Bijan, although he's the focal point of the team, doesn't have to be the focal point of the team, which means that a good portion of the game, Bijan and Tyler Algier will be sipping Mai Tais. See, there we go, D. Sloan. Balance. Look how many years it's taken this team to get pieces on this roster that can create balance, that can accentuate your quarterback's good side. K-Styles has already said we have a great O-line. Mike has already said that we have a great quarterback in Michael Penix. So why not start utilizing everybody in a rotation to create, what do we say? Balance. That means it won't be just a passing game and it won't be just a running game. We're going to shove both of them down your throat. And you're going to like it. That's right, King Richie. Balance. Don't forget, boys and girls, this show is rated balance.
Rated
Okay, Dad.
B.
For balance.
Rated B for balance. Yay!
Yay.
All right, Mike. What is your take on that topic itself? More Michael Penix, less Bijan Robinson.
Well, what people don't know, one of the main reasons why it's important to to note is that when you had a quarterback, the quarterback pretty much changed the rhythm and the flow of an offense. Like he is the rhythm and the flow of the offense. Um, because you got to kind of figure out how he likes the ball, like how he likes to get rid of the ball, the type, the part of the fields he likes to throw to, and you have to, it's his tendencies when he's under pressure, where he float to the left, float to the right, where he step up in the pocket. How does he stand in the pocket like we did in Super Bowl 28, expecting the running back to pick up the blitz? Does he step up, step back? Does he float to the right like that damn clown in Baltimore? Every time every time he's under pressure, he stands there and move to the left, and then he floats right back to that right hand. Like you got to know all those types of things. So in essence, the quarterback controls the flow of play calling.
Say that again for the people in the back.
The quarterback controls the flow of the offense. And in simpler terms, this is why 6-man K Styles and myself, this is just something that I did, not only with 6MK, but with One Drill. Run that!
Yes, sir.
This is why I chose those guys to be our hosts of not only Mad Mike Sports, the Unholy Alliance. They are the hosts. They're my hand-picked hosts. Why? It's because they know how to control the flow of a show, and everything goes through them. K Style got to have the ability. That's why he's called a tactician. He got to have the ability to read when when somebody's feeling it. He can step back and say, you know what? Warren in his bag right now. Let me keep passing him the ball. Mike is in his bag right now. I just need to let him go off on a tangent. Sam or whoever the case may be. He got to know all of that. He got to be able to read every aspect of everybody on the crew. If it needs a little bit more energy, he got to know how to control all that. So you got to have a special hand-picked people that's going to be able to get you into every situation, in and out of every situation.
Well, Mike, not to cut you off, brother, but yes, Southside, we're going to have a mascot for this season since Kev and I like to come up with things like run the damn ball. Yes, this year we're going to have a mascot for balance. But we'll let Mike get back to what he said.
So that's pretty much it. It's all about balance, and that's one of the things you look at this quarterback. Everybody expect this offense to be exactly the same. I don't. I do not think it's going to be the exact same offense. We're going to have the same players. We're going to have the same offensive line for the most part, outside of the center, and that's Drew Dahlman. But I don't expect this offense to look exactly how we saw it last year. Now, there are some aspects of the game that we're going to talk about that I do expect, and I just think y'all need to get the fuck over it.
If you really want to be painful about it, all jokes aside, if the passing game with this offense goes where it needs to go, you may see sprinkles of Bijan in the first 2 quarters, but he may be a third and fourth quarter guy like Tyler Algier. Because with the rotations, with the new guys we just got, adding them into the rotation may be one of those things. Whereas, like you said, you may see a Nash out there on the field. You may see a Skinner out there on the field. You know what I'm saying? You may see a Simon out there on the field. We don't know what they're going to pull out of the playbook. And like Mike said, with Michael Penix controlling the flow of the offense, we don't know what he likes completely. We've only seen him for 3 games. And with Zac being able to open up his playbook and actually act a complete ass, it's not going to be normal. So do not be surprised now, because you got to think a fresh Bijan in the third quarter is a dangerous man. Very dangerous. Especially after the Falcons then had all their DBs and safeties running all over the field, trying to stop the Great Wall of Atlanta. So just be mindful of that.
Balance. Oh, savior of the Falcons.
Balance.
Balance. Oh, Falcons win in 2025. I just wanted to do that one time.
You know, Kev, that might be the theme song. We just on the games, we just shout it out like it's the Flash Gordon. Balance. Oh,
Savior of the Falcons.
shoot, you know what? Let me find that Flash Gordon picture, because he did play football and he was wearing red and black.
Right now, well, there you go.
There's y'all
There you go.
mascot. Balance.
Exactly. But yeah, as far as what you're talking about with the balance in itself, man, as crazy as it sounds with the Falcons last year were pretty balanced on a multitude of front things. Um, like you said, just the biggest issue that came with it was the just simple fact that they just kept turning this. Kirk Cousins kept turning the damn ball over at the wrong damn time. But as far as the balance that is necessary for the team is already here.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the main thing that you're going to be looking for from Junebug is, like you said, just to take care of the football at that position. Um, and this is where the question comes: is will they give a little bit more free reign to Michael Penix? Since that's kind of the question of the evening, they may give him a little bit more free range. Um, because like you said, you have a multitude of skills at that position with Michael Penix being there, to where you're able to do a couple different things. Rather, if it's some way that you want to bootleg him, you know how he is in the pocket. Um, like I said, being able to buy time. But yeah, Falcon fans, just prepare and expect to see the touches that Bijan Robinson got last year just to dwindle down a smidge. Because what's the main thing everybody wants to see? They want to see if Drake London is able to get them yardage to get that next contract. They want to see Darnell Mooney get those same numbers. They want to see if Kyle Pitts can get back to that 800, 900 yard season. So, in order for that to happen, they're going to have to pass the ball a smidge more than running the ball. Because guess what? You ask for it, so thou you shall receive. So if you see that Bijan Robinson may not have as much of the rushing numbers in 2025 as he had in 2024, guess what? Junebug would be the reason why.
Let's
That's what man.
let's be honest though, and I'm gonna get to this question at that. We don't need Bijan to have that many carries. This is what y'all got to understand, and I'm seeing where Mike is coming from with this. Saquon Barkley, and Derrick Henry, somebody gonna blow a gasket sooner or later because they're being overused. Okay. You want to preserve Bijan Robinson for as long as you possibly can. Why? Because this man, like Kyle Pitts, garners the field. He makes defensive coordinators frustrated because they're trying to find a way to stop him. You don't want to overuse him. Why would I overuse a valuable asset like Bijan Robinson when I have already a 6-man rotation and then I got 4 more other pieces on there that are potentially can be subbed out of that rotation? Why would I do that?
Yeah, that's true.
Because if I have a pocket passer and my O-line holds up, why do I always need to lean on the run game? You lean on the run game, like I said, when you in the third and fourth quarter, when their defense is tired, when their team is winded, and then you can just pound it down their throat. You don't need to do that in the first, second quarter when they fresh. Make them go get it. Make them run around for it. Use Michael Penix's skill set as he has it. He won't let the ball rip. Let it rip. You don't want to back yourselves into a corner or paint yourselves into a box in the first and second quarter. It doesn't make sense. With the team you have and the offense you have right now, you're supposed to play chess. You're supposed to make the other team work harder to stop you so that when the last 2 quarters hit, you can just basically mow them down and keep it moving. Mind you now, look at the season and how it's set up. This season right here is meant for if the coaching staff should be smart enough to play chess. Now, I know that's going to make Mike's blood boil, but that's what you got to do. You got to outsmart teams now. And having Bijan burn up all, that's not smart. That's not smart. Preserve him.
Okay.
Especially if we get into the playoffs. That's when you're going to need that run game. Correct me if I'm wrong.
All right. So Richie asked the question, do you think with the addition of a new one, Lays, do you think we'll see more spread and split back looks? Mike, I'll let you go ahead and answer that one.
Well, y'all probably lose y'all mind right there when I say this. I probably gonna lose y'all mind, but I've actually just watched 2 videos on Michael Penix and the differences that I see in the formations and the calls that I've seen. So I went back and I watched it, and I'm watching the Washington game right now, and I've already watched the Michigan game. So the differences that I'm seeing via the college game in the NFL is that what the Atlanta Falcons did with Michael Penix, they use a lot of spread and 4 wide receiver sets, and oftentimes that guy in the slot, he did something interesting that I like with Zac Robinson. He actually put Darnell Mooney on the right side of the offense a lot of the time, and with Drake London, Kyle Pitts, he used those guys on the left side of the offense. So essentially, what that means is that he got the security of a guy that knows how to run routes on his blind side. And for a guy like Zach, what that does to the defensive backs, he know that Darnell Mooney is going to have space because he is such a great route runner. He does have that speed. And with the backside of it, again, that's his backside. That's his blind side. When he has a guy on that blind side that he can trust that's going to get that space because he can get deep and he can run those routes. Darnell Mooney is a great route runner. He put Darnell Mooney, and I've seen a lot of times he put Kyle Pitts on that right side. And a lot of times our bigger, slower receivers are on the left side of the field. So To answer Richie's question, I hope this is clear. Um, you're going to see a lot of 3 to 4 wide spreads, and those spreads are going to change in the middle of the field. So sometimes you're going to see Kyle Pitts in the middle of that. A lot of times you're going to see. I did not see a hell of a lot of Drake London in the slot with Michael Penix. Okay, let me say that again. I did not see Drake in the middle of the slot a lot of times with um, Michael Penix at quarterback. The reason why that is that when you got a guy like Michael Penix that has the ability to make those throws on the sideline, um, it opens up your playbook because you know he can get it in a certain spot between that safety and that corner. So the corner's got to play off. So a guy with like Drake who doesn't have a lot of deep speed, this is the perfect quarterback for him because you can put him in the inside, outside, and Drake can get the ball, but he'll be more explosive on the outside with a guy like Michael Penix. So Michael Penix can fit the ball in there. When you got a guy like Kirk Cousins who can't make those throws as quickly as because in the NFL those windows close quickly. So it gives the offensive coordinator the ability to be more flexible with the play calling and the formations. So that is the long answer to hell yeah, motherfucker. Y'all gonna see every formation possible with this Falcons offense. It's gonna be a completely different offense. Y'all think y'all gonna get the same toys? I'm telling you right now, it ain't.
And think about it like this too, Mike. With and you got this is one of the first times in a long time the Falcons have two gigantic tight ends that will truck you. Simon ain't no joke. Simon ain't no joke, and Kyle Pitts ain't no joke. I made that great wall of Atlanta for a reason because these corners and safeties gonna have a long season. They're gonna have a long season dealing with the mix and matching of this offense. And with Mike with him getting it out 2.1 seconds, I hate to say it, but a lot of these blitzes ain't gonna like. And I'm speaking for the first game of the season because we all know what Ty Bowles likes to do. He's going to blitz heavy in the first game. Why? Because he wants to test the mettle of the youngin. But what's going to happen is, with Mike just saying that, it's going to make him think twice about just sending the house at the Falcons. Because if you don't have a pass rusher that can get there in 1.5 seconds, the ball's gone. So now your DB's got to be ready to go.
And to add a little bit to that, what Mike just said too is, and I don't know, like I said, I know from what I saw as well. I did see Drake in the slot a little bit, but the main thing that I really did like pay attention to was they had Drake and Kyle on the same side quite a lot last year.
Yes.
Yep.
Quite a lot last year.
A lot of spacing. That's what I mean by the spacing. When you put Drake and Kyle on the same side, both of those, you got one guy that can run deep routes a lot better than the other one, and Kyle Pitts. He specializes in those with one always, so those spacing routes. He's the guy that creates space for him. So Drake is not a guy that he uses his athleticism, his quickness to get open. He uses his size to get open. Right. And when you got a guy that can create space like Kyle Pitts, and you got a guy like Drake who is excellent at going up and getting ball and using his body and being physical, that's a dangerous combination on the same side. So that's why you got a guy, those guys, oftentimes you see those guys in the same size. And Michael Penix is, look, you better, your corners better be ready. Your safeties better be ready with this dude because he can make. We saw last year with that throw where he made the Cordero Haas on the sideline. It looked like ain't no way in hell he could have made that throw, and he did it. I said, "Oh my god!" Look, that was one of the most confident, craziest throws and catches I've seen.
You talking about the one where they had to do it back? They redid it and he threw it.
You talk about the one with
Cordero
Cordero
Haas.
Hodge.
Oh,
The one
Cordero.
with Cordero.
Okay, yeah. I'm picturing the one he did with Drake London down the seam, and that bad boy. They brought it back, and he caught it anyway the second time the same way. Those are the types of throws that defenses are gonna have to deal with.
And let me say this too. A guy like Ray McLeod, he's not going to get a lot of passes like we saw last year, but he's another one of those guys like Kyle that can create space for the offense. So those guys are essential with Penix. Look, this is why we're having this conversation about the offense. Nobody's talking about Zac Robinson. He is a spread quarterback. He likes to throw the ball, okay? He's a quarterback himself. That's the type of offense that he came from. So that's his mentality. So he's going to use the passing game to create space for a guy like Bijan and Tyler.
Mm-hmm.
And you got this one. Mr. Humble said, is Nick Nash, that Nash kid, a Wes Welker or Julian Edelman type?
He's man one of them. He's Drake London. He's Drake London, y'all. Okay.
Yeah, that's all. Yeah. They were Julian Edelman and Wes Welker, like you said. They were zone eaters.
Mm-hmm.
So usually, like you said, a lot of times when you saw those guys make impact, they were sitting in small zones. Nah, Nick Nash, like Mike said, Nick Nash is basically just a shiftier version of Drake London.
I'm gonna go back to what I said. Go look at my video. The Great Wall of Atlanta. You are playing what people thought the Atlanta Falcons had when Julio was here and Kyle Pitts first came on the team. That's what you got right now. You got 4 to 5 players that are huge, that are going to give the DB room on other teams nightmares.
Right. So essentially, essentially what's going to end up happening is the confidence, the confidence of which Michael Penix's game can go to is going to dictate how far this team goes.
Mm-hmm.
What up,
Now,
Jude?
Juju to the bank. Now, and Juan said the Great Wall of Atlanta,
Mm-hmm.
and Mike said earlier in the show this also benefits the longevity and effectiveness of the run game itself. Let me
Mm-hmm.
give people let me give people the numbers of what the 2024 Atlanta Falcons were last year. Last year there was a top 10 offense. Last year there was a top 10 run offense. They had a top 10 run game and a top 5 passing game. So pretty much what you saw last year is what you're going to get this year. Now I see somebody had asked a question. I think it may hold on. Somebody asked a question. Were they going to be taking a lot more deep shots this year?
Oh boy.
Expect at least about 4 or 5 of them a game.
Yeah. That's
Expect about
the. Go ahead, Kim. Sorry.
no. You good. Go ahead.
I mean, the thing, if you look at Michael Penix, this is why defensive coordinators got to be careful with a guy with an arm like that. Is because when he is under pressure, he has a tendency to throw the ball in the middle of the field. Okay, he has a tendency to throw the ball in the middle, and when he got time, he likes to throw the ball on the sideline.
Mm-hmm.
Like that, those are two. That right there for a defensive coordinator is a nightmare.
Mm-hmm.
It's a nightmare because you want most of your DBs on the sideline. You don't want those guys in the middle of the field. So you got all your DBs in the middle of the field. Guess what? That leaves lanes for guys like Bijan Robinson, Tyler Algier, and the tight end to leak out. You
Mm-hmm.
know how you remember
Right.
this picture? You remember when Kyle Shanahan he likes to use Levine Tololo, uh, and he'll be wide open on the sideline. You be saying to yourself like, "Why this guy so wide open?" It's because what he was doing, he was condensing and packing the offense in the middle of the field, where his play calling with the running, and then every once in a while you would he'll bootleg out, and then you'll have a tight end wide open. This is
Yeah.
essentially what you're gonna get with a guy like Michael Penix, but without all of the roll action and all that. Michael Penix with his tendencies because he likes to throw the ball on the outside and the middle of the field. That's a dangerous combination. So
Mm-hmm.
the defensive coordinator, they're gonna have to choose whether they're gonna take the middle of the field or they're gonna give him the sidelines. The dangerous part about giving them the sidelines is what I just said. What the middle of the field. If you're gonna give him the sidelines, guy like Drake London and Kyle Pitts, Darnell Mooney, all Ray McLeod, they gonna have a field day on the sideline because wide receivers like to be on the side. They don't like getting hit. Most of them don't like getting hit. So if you're gonna give them the sideline,
Mhm.
them gonna have fun. So
Yeah.
defensive coordinator got to figure out like, all right, am I gonna give him the middle of the field? We give him the middle of the field. Well, guess what? If you try to take
Mhm.
away our middle of the field, which is in this instance is Kyle Pitts. If you're gonna take him away, guess what that leaves open?
Trey
Those
Lance.
inside zone running schemes, and that leaves a guy like Tyler Algier and Bijan Robinson leaking out of the backfield to make plays with catching the ball. So defensive coordinator's got a major problem with the Atlanta Falcons offense this year because what's your quarterback, his tendencies are a problem. It's not necessarily his skill set, it's his tendencies that scare the shit out of defensive coordinator.
Mhm.
Right. And then think about it too now. Periodically, if need be, even though he be bowling when he catch it, Ray will go across the middle. So the Falcons can't dink and dunk you at this point. If they don't choose to run the ball, they can dink and dunk you. Easy.
He loves to throw the ball to that sideline. He like to throw that corner route. He loves to run those deep outs. He like to throw those deep out. Like Penix and his tendencies when he's pressured is problematic. It's a major problem for the defensive coordinators. So they're going to have to spread their DBs out. They can't allow the Atlanta Falcons to with Michael Penix to just eat up the middle of the to just make all those throws in the middle of the field. They gotta spread their DBs out, and it's just gonna leave the running game for the Atlanta Falcons.
Oh gosh.
Essentially, why we having this, it's gonna be wide open. You're not gonna see a lot. You're not gonna see a lot of it, but this is why it's gonna go down. That's why we having this conversation.
Yeah, because you
Look,
gotta think because you gotta think about it. That's when Bijan really does his damage. Because now your DBs and your safeties are not expecting him to go, and that's when you get them 10, 15-yard chunks.
I will say this though. I will say this, and this is why I wanted to say I got two things. This is my first thing. Do not be surprised if Bijan Robinson has at least 85 to 90 catches this year.
Mm-hmm.
Yep,
Yep.
I can see that.
For the
Number two,
reason we just talked about.
yeah, and number two, Bijan Robinson and the reputation that he has already established in the NFL has already made the passing game a lot more dangerous.
Yep.
So a lot of times, what we're going to see here is because Mr. Bijan Musterson has a lot of popularity pool. You've already taken a linebacker out of pass coverage with just him on the field in itself.
Mm. And Kev, you want to know something else?
Whether
With a blitz happy team like Tampa, you got one more weapon, and that's Mike
how
Penix, because Mike can get out the pocket and still make a play. He's not a statue.
nah,
He's not a
The
statue.
tendencies go back. The tendencies with him is problematic also because he likes to escape to the right side of the field
Mm-hmm.
and the middle of the field. So that's
Mm-hmm.
why look. You're going to see a lot of deep outs and a lot of dig routes being thrown by Michael Penix because what teams going to do, they're going to try to play a cover one and disguise it with cover three. They're going to play a lot of cover three, but it's going to be a lot of cover ones, and they're going to ask their corners to make plays on those. So they're going to be in a lot of man. So this going to leave Kyle Pitts, guys like Nash, wide open on the corners on the outside of the field because of his tendency. And that's why Kill was just talking about that expect Bijan Robinson to have about 80 catches because what Michael Penix and his tendency, he likes to escape in the middle of the field. He likes to throw that ball when he's pressured in the middle of the field. And oftentimes there's going to be two guys that's going to be the beneficiary of that. The running back and the tight end.
So wait. So you just said Bijan, Tyler, or Kyle Pitts and Simon? Did you just say that?
Look, if
there's a
Simon is that number two or three, he's gonna get it.
those
Go ahead,
four
bro.
those four players right there are going to be the keys to how explosive this offense is going to be.
Mm,
Your tight ends and your running backs are your check down and your hot reads
mm,
Mm-hmm.
more
mm,
than
mm, mm.
anything. Anybody with half a brain knowing football knows that your tight ends and your running backs are your hot reads and your safeties and your check downs.
Right, because both running backs can catch out of the backfield, and
And
both
that
tight ends are freight trains.
and
Mm,
that's the thing and that's one of the real unknowns of this offense is people we look at Tyler Algier as the bowling ball, the battering ram of this offense. He's a guy that literally split your wig real quick. But a lot of people keep forgetting that he is a very capable pass receiver out the backfield, even though that's not
Mm-hmm.
his main role.
mm-hmm. And knowing if he get open, he will take it home like he did before. He almost died when he got there, but he took it home. Because
Nah, I don't think.
bruh, I was praying like, bruh, please get to the end zone without dying. And
Nah, he not like you said. I don't need too much of those.
yeah, right.
That mug, we don't need to do
Yeah.
that mug look like me chasing an ice cream truck to the next neighborhood, nigga. I mean, oh,
Oh man, that
nah.
scared it scared me a little bit. I was like, go. I was like, somebody help Tyler. He about to pass out. He hit that thing like I think I can. So yeah. But I'm what I'm saying is because from the footage I watched on Simon, and then we know Kyle Pitts and Bijan. I'm looking at it like y'all don't understand. DBs and DBs especially are gonna be upset when they see us coming, especially when we at home. They're gonna be upset. Again, pick your poison season.
I think, yeah, because I think for this defense, for this offense to be nasty like we think it can be, like I said, I'm expecting at least 95 to 100 catches from the running backs this year for both
Ooh,
running backs combined. Hey, Auntie Pam, what's going on?
Hello.
Southside said, don't forget Tegan Quintoriano, tight end we got from the Texans. It's a big play waiting to happen also.
yeah. So you got
That,
three.
yeah.
You got three gigantic tight ends. You got You got 2 bowling ball running backs that can catch out the backfield. You got wide receivers galore, and you got a quarterback that don't care who get it.
So essentially, what's going to end up happening just by putting all this together, it's still a physical offense. It's still, like I said, this still is going to be a physical offense.
Mm-hmm.
The biggest difference is that this year they're going to have big play possibilities from all aspects of the offense.
Right.
And I said possibilities. I'm not saying they're going to be chucking 17 deep balls in the same damn game. That's not going to happen.
So basically, kind of put this in layman term where they can understand it is when you look at all right. So I'm gonna put it like this. Everybody's seen Michael Jordan play for the most part, right? We've seen Kobe Bryant play.
Mm-hmm.
Both of those guys' games are identical for the most part, right? They
Mm-hmm.
like they like to use that turnaround jump and that mid range jump shot.
Mm-hmm.
And it's something that me and Kid was actually talking about earlier today. Um, when you have a guy that likes to take those mid range jumpers, like how you can't play those guys 1-on-1 for the most part. How are you going to get to a guy like Kobe Bryant who likes to take that mid range jump shot? What's the best defense for him?
Yeah, because the biggest thing in today's basketball is a lot of guys play defense to, especially they play defense to stop the drive.
Mm-hmm.
And
Right.
one thing that Michael Jordan did very well, and one thing that Kobe Bryant did very well, is like you said, that pull up jump shot. Like you said,
Mm-hmm.
if anybody implements that pull up jump shot from the midi in today's game, that would be the most deadliest shot in today's NBA because everybody's geared to stopping you from driving to the basket.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And that pull up jump shot gives you space between you and the defender to make it. So 9 times out of
Mm-hmm.
10, you break the person or make them fall down when you stop to make the shot.
So
Mm-hmm.
what these guys are saying is when the especially in today's game, everybody's gearing up to stop you from penetrating, from going to the hole. So with a guy like Kobe Bryant, who he's not worried about you stopping him from penetrating. He's trying to get to a spot where he can just shoot the mid range jump shot. If you do not attack him, he's gonna go to the hole. If you hesitate, he's gonna take the jump shot. So he's only looking at 2 things. He only got 2 options. He's only looking at 2 things when you're guarding him. If you're gonna stop him from taking the, are you gonna stop him from driving and give him the jump shot, or you're gonna take away the drive, or you're gonna take away the jump shot and allow him to get to the hole. So what a
Mm-hmm.
guy like Michael Penix, what a defensive coordinator is going to have to do is, because he likes to throw the ball on the outside and the inside, what an offensive coordinator, what a guy like Zac Robinson going to do, he going to have 2 things. You got to design, because he likes to do both. He likes to do both. He likes to check the ball down and he likes to throw the ball to the sideline. So now, as an offensive coordinator, you can call a play that's designed to get the ball not only out of his hands, but in his favorite spot at the same time. This is what made Drew Brees and Peyton Manning so deadly, is because they like to throw the ball deep and they love to check the ball down. Most
Mm-hmm.
quarterbacks only like to just throw the ball deep. This is why a guy like Lamar Jackson has not been a great quarterback. And I'm talking about a quarterback. Or I'm talking about as far as passing and being a complete passer. Lamar Jackson only wants to really throw the ball deep. He checks the ball down by default. Okay, with a guy like Peyton Manning and Drew Brees, and a guy like Matt Ryan, these guys likes to throw the ball outside, they like to throw the ball inside, the middle of the field, and they take the ball down. So offensive coordinator can do whatever the hell they want to do.
So
They
you
can,
saying
they can call anything they want to do. The playbook is wide open because your quarterback likes to do it all. So when you got a quarterback and again, Lamar Jackson has done what he's done, but a quarterback, an offensive coordinator can't call every single play with Lamar because of his tendencies. He's only going to throw the ball when he's asked to throw the ball. He's going to do two things. He's going to get the ball out quick, or he's going to throw to his tight ends down the field. That's what he likes to do. But with a guy like Michael Penix, an offensive coordinator can design all this type of shit. He can design whatever the fuck he want to play because his quarterback likes to do everything. So the playbook in its entirety, the formations in its entirety are wide the fuck open. And it just leaves the defensive coordinator to figure out, all right, what the fuck am I going to take away first?
So in other words, like you said, Mike, he can have them plays where it looks like one thing and then morphs into something else.
Exactly.
Yeah, them hybrid plays. I love them.
Think about this. Think about this. Why you remember when we always played Sean Payton and his offense? What do we always get beat by?
Always got beat in the middle of the damn field.
The middle of the damn field.
They ran high lows. High lows in the middle of the field.
In the middle of the field. And who a lot of the times, a lot of his running backs do what?
Motherfucker, running backs flare out. They either go flare out or in Darren Sproles' favorite case, they like to run those Texas concepts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you see what I'm saying?
A is another the Texas concepts, which is another high-low concept, especially if you got a tight end running a dig in the middle of the damn field.
And so in other words, it's almost like they'll dink and dunk your ass to death with the running backs or the tight end.
Quarterback like to do it. That's the thing. That's the dangerous things. So offensive coordinators don't call plays. They don't call plays based off your wide receivers' abilities. They call offensive plays based on your quarterback's tendencies, what he likes to do, what he doesn't like to do. But it's mostly based on what he likes to do. The only time you really focus on what the quarterback can't do is when he's struggling. And then you don't call anything and you rely on the running game and you rely on trying to get him in the rhythm. That's the only time you rely on him not being able to do something. But the offense coordinator is always, when it comes down to the quarterback, he's always calling plays based on what their quarterback likes to do and what he does well. That's why it takes off. That's why you look at guys like Aaron Rodgers, Brett Favre, Jordan Love, all these quarterbacks that took time to become a good quarterback is because they ran all these plays in practice just to figure out like what he likes to do. Once you know what he likes to do, that's how you can develop a game plan around that particular. So we're not going to see the same passing game with the Atlanta Falcons based on what Michael Penix likes to do. I know there's probably a lot of information. I know there's a lot of information for a lot of people, but this thing is going to be so much more different.
And this is why him getting to know Kyle Pitts on a personal level, saying he wants to work with Kyle Pitts, and then announcing that he's going to work with the defense to get on one accord, because they will each find out the weapons will find. The quarterback will find out what each of his weapons like, where he likes it, how to get it to him, and the weapons will understand what their quarterback likes. That's the dangerous part, because now what you'll have is, with the addition of these undrafted free agents, now what you have is you got almost like a double rotation. You got a double rotation. If all of them are on one, if all of those guys and the quarterback are on one sync with the O-line, you in trouble for the whole season, because now they're just on the field playing second nature. They're not trying to think, what does Mike like? Mike want me to go up, cut right, and then go down maybe about 4 or 5 yards, and he waiting on me. Mike will be like, I'm gonna throw it over there and go get it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna
Because
throw it
even
here,
if
Bijan. Go get it.
because even if you look back at the time at the plays with Kirk Cousins, it's pretty much the same thing. It's a
Mm-hmm.
lot of it's a lot of high lows on one side and smash on the other side. For those that may
Mm-hmm.
not know what high lows are, you basically have two routes that's covering two different parts of the field defense.
Mm-hmm.
You have a low route, which may be like a short route, and then you have a high, which comes behind it, maybe
Behind
10,
that.
15 yards.
Mhm.
Right.
And what you're doing with that is you're making the defense have to
Mhm.
pick and choose. Okay, what's going to be more important based on the tendency? Is he going to throw the low
Right.
or is he going to throw the high?
Right.
Some plays it may be low, mid, high.
Right.
And the one thing that I notice what they like to do too is they will go low, high, low on one side, and they'll go smash on the other. For
Right.
those
Mhm.
that don't know what
Yeah.
smash is, that's a deep corner route with some type of hook underneath.
Mm.
Mhm.
And what usually what
That,
they
that,
do is okay, if you take away the low, then that's a deep rod that could be taken home for a touchdown. If you take away the high, then that's basically a first down for the quarterback. So either or,
yeah.
it's like, again, either or. You picking scoring versus continued downs.
Let
Hmm.
me ask, go ahead, Gil.
No, no, go ahead, Mike. Go ahead, Mike.
Well, the thing is, why a lot of a defense coordinator like to take the deep straight away is because when you decide you're going to take away the first down, as Warren said, rather than the deep play, you leave the offensive coordinator even more. So you add to that playbook when you decide you just going to take away the short routes. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so
Hmm.
he can add a corner to it. He can add a dig to it. He can add a nine route to it. So that's what happens when you decide to take away the short routes. And what the Atlanta Falcons, when you have so many weapons, a Mooney, a Drake, a Kyle Pitts, you got Ray McLeod, you got all those guys. They have the ability to make big plays downfield. So this is why a guy like man, Bijan Robinson and um I was about to say Michael Turner. I was about to
Hmm.
say Michael Turner because I was thinking Michael Turner and running folks over. Uh, but Tyler Algier, he can catch the ball out of the backfield too. It's
Hmm.
going to add that other dynamic to the offense. But the thing that nobody is really paying attention to is that I totally disagree with the fact that everybody says that Michael Penix is not Michael Vick. The thing is, he is Michael Vick, but he's not the Michael Vick that we want.
Hmm.
I'm gonna let K Styles explain that one.
Basically, he is what everybody wished Mike Vick was early in his career.
Mm,
Mm. I
that's
got
what
what you're saying.
mm-hmm.
Which in which we're not talking about skill set wise, but we're talking more so on the humble aspect of things.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
Now, like you said, I will say this: Mike Penix is Mike Vick in some sort of ways, but he is. If you as a Falcons fan are expecting him to be Mike Vick, where he's more run first and
Right.
pass later, that's where that, like I said, that's where you're going to get disappointed.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason being because y'all got to understand something. Mike Penix is a cerebral version of Mike Vick, meaning that he understands the plays. He understands what's going on in the playbook. Not his athlete. He'll have athletes. A lot of stuff that you saw Mike Vick do was ad-libbing because he was not familiar with the playbook. So a lot of time he had to run. I'm
Playbook in the
just
I'm
trunk.
sorry.
I'm,
I'm
I'm
sorry.
just I'm, I'm saying
Playbook in the
I'm
trunk.
I'm
saying
sorry. I
he
read this comment. I laughed my
yeah,
head.
He said,
yeah,
"Y'all
yeah,
ready
because
for it?"
because that's the thing. That's the thing that we've been saying. Mike Penix is a cerebral Mike Vick. If Mike Vick knew the playbook, all of that ad-libbing in the background, you'd have seen more throws being made.
Right.
So this is what we're looking at. We're not saying he wasn't athletic. We weren't saying he wasn't a dynamic player that excited people. He just did not know the playbook enough to know, hey, I don't have to run like this. I can stand in the pocket and throw it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what Mike Penix is. And the thing is, when you got a kid that's a sponge, he's humble, he's competitive, and he's not afraid to throw it to none of his weapons, that's dangerous. Because now your defensive coordinators have to guess. It's like, is he going to use the knight or is he going to use the rook? If he's not going to use the knight, then the damn is he going to use the pawn? You know what I'm saying? These chess pieces. You know what I'm saying? Is he going to use the bishop? And it's like now they have to pay close attention to what they think the Falcons are going to do.
That right there, with the statement right there, they're going to have to, because this is not the same quarterback.
Right, Jew, 100%.
Have the ability to get outside of the pocket. Okay, that's the thing. What edge rushers don't like to do, edge rushers don't like to move. Okay, they not DBs. Edge rushers do not like to move. They like to be able to get around the corner and get to the quarterback. They don't want to run 15, 20 yards down the field. They don't. I'm telling you right now, okay? I come from a family of big dudes. I'm the smallest of them all, okay? Big family. And I'm telling you right now, big dudes don't like to do a lot of running. Ain't that right, 6 man?
Look, I'm gonna tell you, because I didn't see Mike brothers. They don't even like walking. So no. They don't like walking. So yeah, no. They don't want to move. Leave them be.
Nah, hell no. You want to go one direction.
I'm saying this because Kel plays soccer. That's why I'm saying.
Yeah, and people are still shocked by that.
Oh no, I played soccer before. I know. It's too hot outside. It's too hot outside. You got to kick the ball, run, and fake somebody out. Yeah, that's too much.
Nah. See, I played on defense, so I ain't had much travel time.
Yeah, I was on.
My only thing was the only thing they told me to do was don't let nobody get by me.
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah, I was the dude running around the field looking crazy. That was tiring.
But yeah, like you said Mike Vick. I'm gonna say it like this. I'll say this. Mike Vick, Michael Penix to me kind of remind me of a less asshole-ish Donovan McNabb.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that. Yeah, because Donovan had his moments.
Donovan was a dipshit.
He had his moments.
He was a dipshit.
Oh man.
He was a dipshit. But the thing about it is, if you pay attention to his game, that's who he reminds me. He reminds me of Donovan McNabb. At least he doesn't throw up. At least he doesn't throw up outside the huddle. But he's going down that road.
Right. Look. And the scary thing about Penix, and I've watched his mannerisms, is because he has a face that does not change. It's hard for a safety to read him. The one thing, if you go back and listen to Jesse Bates gives you the keys on how, I'm going to tell you like this, Jesse Bates then gave Mike Penix the keys on how to get around safeties. He has no facial expressions. So it's hard for a safety to read him other than where his eyes is looking. And he's good at looking people off.
Right.
If y'all watch that video where Mike Penix went to the Waffle House with that other football player, I forgot the man's name, so y'all forget.
That was Harry Douglas.
Yeah, when he talked about it, he mentioned it. He said you were good at looking off, and Mike was breaking down a play that was going over during the game. He's good at looking off safeties, so he doesn't have a face where he gives away what he's thinking. So you got to understand, he's going to confuse a lot of DBs. And Mike always say, think about it. Before a quarterback throws, he looks at where the safeties are. He looks at where the safeties are.
That's the first thing you're taught as a quarterback is to look where the safety's at. And then you work your way down.
Exactly. But man, so pretty much what we have done here is we have broke down a lot of the different things that we said both Penix, Warren Moon, Catherine. Yeah. Warren Moon, Penix is actually a prodigy of Warren Moon, for those
Yes,
that don't know. He's a prodigy. A lot of people don't know when he went to Washington, he worked with Warren Moon exclusively. Hell, Warren Moon was the main one that put Michael Penix's name out.
Yep.
So that's two greats that have been in this young man's court.
So man, we an hour into this damn thing, man.
Yeah, I didn't even realize it. Good gracious.
I know. So you want to hit you want to hit the bonus round, or do you want to go to Q&A style?
It depends. I mean, it's your call.
Okay. So I think everybody pretty much been asking questions the whole time. So we definitely appreciate everybody's questions and stuff like that. But we kind of have a bonus topic that we wanted to kind of talk about. And we're gonna kind of somber the mood here a little bit. But this is something that that been a very big concern of mine here online here recently, and that is TikTok. Now, TikTok right now to me, it's some very wild. It's some very wild stuff going on there, and I told Mike, it's some very bad energy on that site in itself that is not really conducive to me. What do y'all think about that? Because it's like it's a what you call it, one, a lot of trauma bonding going on over there, man, and it's just a lot of bad energy, man. So what do y'all think on that?
I think I don't. My thing is trauma bonding is only good when there's a solution. There's no fucking solution. Everybody that they take, oh my God, I got raped when I was 19 and this and this. All right, so how we gonna help each other? There's a lot of people out there that want to share their story, but they don't want to share how they got through it. It's a lot of, like I said, it's a lot of trauma bonding, but nobody wants to teach each other how to get through it, how to get through the next day. And a lot of people are drawn to that negative energy, and you see it time and time again. And then when you have that, you compound that when you trauma bond, and then you got the what I call is one of the craziest aspect of being in the public eye, so to speak. You got to deal with that, your trauma, and you got to deal with the people that's coming after you like trolls, and then you got stalkers, and you got all types of stuff. So that shit just ends up compiling all together because nobody's coming with a solution.
What do you think about that one?
Warren eating a steak, y'all.
No, I'm just had to take care of something right quick. No, I'm gonna tell you what it is, Mike. You probably right. You was diving into it. What TikTok is, and what a lot of these social media platforms end up being, is what I like to call, it's a trauma orgy. See, like crabs in it's like crabs in a bucket, but see, you got one crab trying to make it out, and then all the other crabs pull them down. But if you notice, a trauma orgy is everybody get in the room, everybody go to taking their clothes off, exposing themselves, telling their stories, and then now they just fall into each other and just wallow in it. They're not looking for a solution. They're looking to have their feelings validated. People that want solutions, they get in groups and they all speak about solutions. They speak about the trauma. They go through the pain, and then they say, okay, we got to keep each other accountable for the growth, because it's growth in every bad situation. Doesn't matter how bad it is. But when you want to be in a trauma orgy, oh no, you just get down there, girl, my leg fell off. My leg did too. Girl, I know we hurt together. Y'all two hobbling motherfuckers in the middle of a pit crying. Somebody said, hey, you need a leg. You're trying to tell me to get over my leg missing. I'm trying to give you a leg, fool. No, they want to sit up there and just wallow in it. And like a person like me, I go on TikTok, I post business, and I get off. I'm not showing my personal life. I'm not trying to get to know you. I'm not about to sit up here and tell you what bothers me, because you can't help me and you don't care. You gonna tell me too. And then we just gonna fall in the pool and just splash amongst our misery until somebody tell you, man, y'all need to get up and try to get better. No, you can't tell me what to feel. We don't got time for that. I done been drunk enough in my life to know that if everybody drunk, how y'all gonna get sober? It's a trauma orgy. Nobody. It was fun for the kids when it first came out. Why? Because you could get on there with your family and look stupid together. Now it's just conspiracy theories, bad takes, and then y'all exposing y'all life, which, let's be honest, 80% of us don't care, and the other 20% glad at you. If y'all know Les Brown, y'all know what I'm talking about. So, like Mike said, nobody's looking for a solution. Everybody wants to be validated, and they want to get paid for being validated.
And the thing, it's another. I forgot, and I'm reading it. Well, basically, it's another TikTok superstar on there. Says Kaiser 26 has amassed over more than 3.1 million followers on TikTok, 1.2 followers on Instagram by sharing videos of her daily life. Many of her followers suspected something was wrong when they noticed she had recently stopped sharing posts on social media, especially after she failed to respond to their concerns. So basically what happened is they lost a child. I think it was 3 years old. But the reason why we're saying this is just when you go to TikTok, it's just so many people just sharing their stories, and nobody's really sharing. They're sharing their life, they're sharing their stories, but they're not teaching each other how to actually get through those times. Like I got two OGs, you know what I'm saying, and a big brother in one. When I don't have all the answers, I call up them. I say, hey bro, look man, this is what the fuck I'm going through. How can I get out of there? I asked you, you know what I'm saying? My little brother, I asked you. He's a pastor in himself. His mother, his father, they on their they run their own church and whatnot. I asked them questions. Why? I don't have all the fucking answers. I actually want to get through it. And I think one of the biggest issues today, everybody wants to be heard. Everybody wants to be felt, but nobody really wants the help. Nobody wants to change. Nobody want to get out of that, because attention is attention to some, and they don't care how they get it, whether it's good attention or bad attention. They want that, and that right there in an undeveloped mind could be dangerous. Attention can, and clout came.
Yeah, my dad, I credit my dad being military, being a Vietnam veteran, being an actual man that saw combat. The thing he used to tell me when I would get in my funk is, he said, okay, you crying. He said, now, after you get done crying, I want you to come back to me. So I go back to him. He said, now, what did you solve? What did your crying solve? And I would say, nothing. He said, you still got the problem in front of you, right? He said, yeah. He said, now I taught you to think. Now I'm going to teach you how to think. The problem is when Mike come to me and say, hey, Juan, I got to ask you about something. If Mike came to me and said, man, I banged my knee, Juan, man, how I handle this? I don't sit there and say, yeah, Mike, I did too. We sitting there crying. I'll be like, Mike, how hard did you hit your knee? What side? Do you think you tore a ligament? Do you think you bruised a muscle? All right, Mike, this is what we gonna do, bro. I tried this, and that. I would say do this. I ain't gonna be sitting there with Mike crying with it. I could be there. Right. I could be on the phone with him with my knee bandaged up too. I'm be like, Mike, I did this, I did that. I tried to walk around. I tried to be an OG. Hey, Mike could be like, all right, man, cool. Because I gave him something that he can use to help himself. I ain't sit up there and cry with Mike. Mike will cry with me and call me back later. Nigga, why is you crying with me? With me? Now my other brother looking at me like I'm a fool.
Right.
Like, nah. You know, that's like me asking Kev, man, how you fix this thing on there? Kev was like, well, I don't know, brother. Me and Kev crying, Mike coming in. What is wrong with y'all fools? I asked Kev, could you help me with this? And Kev didn't know. Mike said, Kev, like, fuck you, nigga. I didn't know either. That's not how we do. It's not how we do. And it's not, don't take it as a person not caring about the trauma. What we're saying is, if you're going to sit there and you want to be validated, when you're done being validated, the problem still exists.
Right.
It don't go nowhere. And eventually you got to solve it.
Mm-hmm.
And this is, and I'm going to get kind of spiritual because I know a lot of people don't really hear this from me, but if you got a room full of negative people that are down on themselves, it's easy for the devil to come in and say, okay, since you already at your lowest, get rid of yourself. Since you already at your lowest, off him, because he's the problem.
Mm-hmm.
This is why you hear in scripture, you hear Jesus say, where two or more gathered, there I'll be. You know why that's important? Because their gathering, all of their gathering is a sum total of their weakness together. God comes in the building and says, hey, I'm gonna make everybody strong because this is what I do. I'm made perfect in their weakness. So if you're in negativity, it's the opposite of it. Devil shows up and says, all right, get rid of all of y'all. But I'm going to make you get rid of yourselves. And I'm going to watch. You know what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? He is the king. He's the king voyeur. He gonna make your problem be your best friend's problem. You and your best friend going to argue. The other person going to have a weak mindset of themselves. They're going to take themselves out. Y'all will kill each other and won't nobody be done. It'll just be a band. If we could have just got here a little bit earlier. We could have just got here a little bit earlier. We're
seeing that a lot more today. We seeing. I was just watching a TMZ report where they were talking about Taylor Swift. They found like a bunch of dead bodies and stuff like that in the neighborhood, and it's going around and stuff like that. And reason why I'm bringing that all up is like when you see those types of things, like. If you're not dealing with those types of situations, man, this is what happens. Situation like that, whether either you got a serial killer on your hand or somebody decides, because I don't want to make my situation any better, or I don't think it's going to get any better. I'm just going to find the easiest way for me to get myself up out of here. And that's either they're going to force themselves to go to jail, or they're going to force someone else to end up killing them. And we've seen that where a lot of these moments, I know y'all remember that, what was it, Orlando, Florida?
Yeah.
Orlando, when they went up to the club because this guy wasn't in a good mood, he ended up shooting up a whole bunch of stuff in Orlando. Like, this is what happens when we don't, fix the issue. We can sit up here and talk about the issue over and over and over and over again. But if there's no action, it's just a whole bunch of angry, depressed people around, and it's going to lead to even more depression and even more bad energy. And that's what we're seeing with TikTok. Just a whole bunch of people with a lot of bad energy that everybody just sharing, that bonding moment or that bonding situation. Nobody's trying to help each other.
Do y'all know when I'm out and about, and even when I'm on social media, I will randomly talk to somebody when I see they're like, because if you go on Threads or whatnot, that's one of the places. But I will randomly talk to people and I ask them, "How's your day? How you doing?" Because I understand and I find that that's the difference between life and death for certain people. I can ask you, "How's your day doing?" And the 5 minutes that you get out what your problem is, I will leave them with a solution. It's a suggestion, but I leave it with them. Like when Mike, I'll get off to myself if I'm not having a good day, but I'll come back, I'll tell Mike, parts of what's going on just to get it out. But when I'm out and about, I talk to people. When I'm online, I talk to people. Why? Because it's enough misery. It's 8 billion people on this planet. It's enough misery to go around 8,000 times per one person. That's a problem. That's a 64 billion person problem. And this is what we talk about. Yeah, we clown, we talk shit on here, we say what we say. But at the end of the day, it's our job to be of service. No matter what. That's why I don't hang necessarily around people that's negative. If I see somebody having a negative experience, I go to them. But I don't wallow in it with them. Because if you drowning and I'm drowning, we can't save each other.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how, and like you said, that's where unfortunately that's where a lot of where it's going down right now is you you have a majority of a society that's just pissed off because
Mm-hmm.
somebody else is pissed off.
Mm-hmm.
A lot
Or
of that
somebody that's
drinking. Oh boy.
hmm
And Kendrick Lamar. Drinking Kendrick Lamar. You just have two angry fan bases going on in each other and they just feeding off that anger and hatred.
right. See, this is where like you said, this is where this quote unquote new race war is coming back. It's just a
Oh.
bunch of people that's just mad at each other. Everybody just want to be angry. The perfect example of all this shit is the Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark shit. Motherfucker just angry,
Ooh, wee.
Mm-hmm.
anger, anger, anger. And the more anger and the more depression, the more, you know, self-hate, the more loathing that goes on. That's why they always say energy is never destroyed, it's transferred. And
Right.
if you're
Mm-hmm.
transferring that damn energy like that, anybody that doesn't have the strong will to, look beyond that and stick to the positive side of it is susceptible to receiving that negative energy.
Right.
And you go, and you said it right here, bully culture. This is
Mm-hmm.
all this shit is. All that's all social media is now is bully culture.
And you know
Mm-hmm.
why? Because Mike said it. And if a lot of y'all didn't pay attention, it went over your head. When we came up, we had OGs. Okay. When we came up, we had older teenagers. We had older young men that had been out in the streets. That because like people don't know. I was born in East Point, Georgia, but my raising was done in Buffalo, New York. So I was in the projects. So winos that knew my grandmother, young teenagers that knew my grandmother, that could knock me out, be like, bruh, what is you doing? Get your behind home. Or, hey, what's up, man? You need to talk. The OGs are supposed to pass on that street knowledge. They the street enforcers that make sure everybody follow code. They watch out for the little kids. They respect their elders, and they do what they do. But when you get older, you're supposed to pass that on. There's a gap. There's a stop gap between our generation and our children's generation, where the younger kids, we pass down the OG. Why? Because we tried to be the younger kids again. This is why you have mamas competing with their daughters, and the daughters are 25 in the club when the mama should be instilling, sense into them. This is why now you got grandmamas competing with the mamas, competing with the daughters. Why? Because nobody has the OG mentality. You're not passing down your knowledge. You're passing down your youth, your stupidity in your youth. So everybody now, it's like a kid trying to raise a kid, trying to raise a kid. And me and Mike the same age, we can't raise each other because we on the same level. So if I got less sense than Mike, I can't raise Mike. If Mike got less sense than me, he can't raise me. So if I'm older than both of them, I need to have, hey, Mike, this is what you're supposed to do, so that Mike has an obligation to pass it on to the next person. We dropped the ball, because if we didn't, social media wouldn't be as ratchet as it is, because we'd be like, bro, what are you doing? Do you know your mama can see you? Nobody cares about their mama seeing them, because guess what? Your mama out there doing it too. You twerking on one phone, your mama in the other room in the kitchen twerking, burning up the food.
You mean like Beyonce mama? She out here trying to get her groove back. She's about 80 years old.
Man, tell you, look. And I know I'm about to catch some flack out here, but Beyonce mama acting like a hoe right now. She in her whole
Really?
phase right now. She in her whole phase right now.
What's wrong with you?
Like, ma'am, you are 71 years old. There is no sowing your royal oats. Your oats are spoiled. Sit your ass down and eat some applesauce.
See, she's in her whole phase right now, boy. She done went through like 9 different marriages in the last 6 years.
Kev, let me tell you, Kev, you can't even call her a hoe. She's a whore. You have to put the R on it because she's a whore. You have to put the R on it. Why? Because she's grown. She's been grown for almost 50 years.
She's almost worth $1 billion. You have talking about deserve more. What more do you deserve? You
gonna get?
You deserve a nap time. You deserve some nap time. Some of them fuzzy slippers that look ugly, and a moo-moo. Go sit down somewhere, big mom. Go sit down. Look, you don't need to be in the club trying to out twerk a young person.
Look, I'ma just say it like this. Like I said, if you look at the 3 of us on the screen, like I said, I'm the youngin' to these 2. So these 2, I like I said, they give me a lot of advice, and they always check to make sure I ain't doing nothing stupid out here too. But like I said, it just comes to a respect factor. You have to, like I said, it doesn't have to be blood family, but it has to be a respect between each other, to where you're willing to take on knowledge or take on advice and stuff like that. Hell, nigga, I just got called the other day, and I looked weird about it. I'm like, wait,
it'll change your life.
Wait a minute.
Look, I came out the gas station when we was going to the training camp, and dude called me OG. I looked around like, who are he talking about? I forgot I got a gray beard. But what y'all don't realize is these 2 are younger than me, but sometimes they have to remind me I'm the OG. It's the accountability factor.
Right. And like you said, and when you look at the stuff like social media, and like I said, the thing is, YouTube is social media too. But like you said, when it comes to like TikTok, that's why I said it's some very demonic energy going on over there, because of the simple fact.
Shut the hell up.
Grandpa, sit your ass down, Grandpa.
I'm still talking about he want a 19-year-old honey.
You sound
Sit down somewhere. Your little ding ding gonna be up for a half a second. Sit the fuck down somewhere.
Hey, what we're talking about, we call him grandpa. So he told okay, Dad.
No. That's what you say. That's what you say. You sound real unfamiliar. You sound real familiar, Granddad. But
Oh, man.
I'm gonna get a fuck you in
I
my
hear
Oh, that's
mention.
gonna
already.
be a real hard one too with him. That's gonna be a hard. Fuck all y'all. That little cricket middle
Yeah,
finger.
exactly. And Jay said, wasn't TikTok supposed to be banned too? Yes, it was
Okay.
supposed to be
Yes,
banned,
it
but
is. It
everybody
actually is.
Well, see,
and
see,
Ted, yeah.
okay. See what
Well,
what they
it's
what they
still a
got going
shadow
on
ban.
now is what they got
It's a
going on now
shadow
is
ban
they're
platform, y'all.
trying they're trying to clean it up, quote unquote, and I'm throwing quotation marks in the air, like Facebook or whatever. But here's what the main issue is, and why you won't see social media and certain platforms clean themselves up, because trauma and negativity is big business. Because the one thing that corporate America understands is that misery is forever. There's always going to be something miserable about this world, and they just figured out how to capitalize on it. If misery made no money, they'd be playing rainbow ponies and Sesame Street all day for everybody. That's just, misery makes a lot of money. That's why you got these conspiracy theories on YouTube. That's why you got all these what ifs and all this other kind of junk. That's why World
Hmm.
Star blew up so much. Because people look, it's like pay-per-view for dummies. I don't got to pay for it. I can just sit here and record it. And whoever got the best angle, that's the one that wins.
Motherfucker talking about if you use Apple Pay, you gay if a man use Apple Pay. I'm like, what the kind of stupid shit is this?
No. The one that got me was, and if this is your lifestyle, I'm just using this as an example. We're talking about men are dressing like the studs. Well, wait, excuse me. Excuse me. I've been putting pants on since I was an infant. What?
Oh, you ain't talking about the one talking about men
Yeah.
are sassy right now because they looking like studs right now. Like,
No,
oh,
no,
boy.
no. She said men are dressing like studs. Excuse me. It's
Oh,
called menswear. It's called menswear, not studswear. Menswear. They had Docker pants since the 80s. Yes. They had Docker shorts. Yes. They had polos, caps. Yes. Braids were us, not y'all. Y'all had them flip finger waves and high right, low left skids and all that kind of crap. Y'all was getting y'all hair perm more than a horse. So, well, how did we start? Stop it. Stop it. Again, that's why I keep saying y'all need to stop sniffing cereal without milk.
You got these motherfuckers talking about you a coon. You a coon if you not outraged about what happened to Angel Reese and shit. I'm like, look, y'all don't get y'all miserable ass. You get these miserable ass niggas on out of
And,
here.
and let's be real. I'm ashamed everybody that said something about this. Do y'all not understand the reason why that Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese stuff came about? You know why? Because a lot of y'all watching soft ass basketball. Because when we was growing up, it was customary to get your block knocked off, your jaw broke, your teeth knocked out. You get body slammed for trying to dunk. That was customary. If I was
I got
in
knocked
the
out of
90s,
hell a
if
couple of
I wanted
times.
to make myself known, I would dunk and put my nuts on the back of your skull. And that was known that I dunked on you. Now all of a sudden you want to do a hard foul. I think that's racist. You shouldn't have pulled her arm down into her shorts.
And everything is racist now. It's like, Lord have
I
mercy.
don't even know the meaning of the word. Some of y'all wouldn't even understand the signs they had in the 60s. Colors and whites. You be asking your
Well,
mama, is that something in the crayon box? So cut it out, man. fake out. Yeah, they basically made $1.5 million off of fake outrage.
So that needs to be the name of the website. Fake outrage.
Fake outrage. Might come
Fake
on the screen.
outrage.
Might come on the screen with a great beard. Mike, you're being racist because you got too many white hairs in your beard. Mike Linson is a racist because he should have an all black beard, but he's got white speckles in it.
Yeah, say K Styles, you a tap dancing coon because you know how to read, nigga. I'm like, wait, what? What?
You know what, tactician? You know what, tactician? I don't even believe you're part of this damn country because you know how to articulate it yourself.
Racist is being fooled because you don't eat what you call that shit? That tofu.
You don't eat the
You don't like tofu. You don't like the wide.
Hold on. Here's the other one. Here's the other one. You are a Nazi because you buy products made in the USA.
Oh gosh. What?
No.
Kev, here you go. Juan, you one of them Ku Klux Klans members because you wear clothes that fit. Well, let me give you something else to break up your cultural stagnation. The new elected Pope decided he took warfare out on the Hotep community. And he said, and I quote, to be called woke in a time where people overlook tragedy and trauma is an insult. Bean pie, my brother?
Bean pie.
Now this
say that phrase again one more time for the people in the back.
This is your Pope from Chicago. He said
Pope Leo.
Yeah, he from Chicago. He from Southside.
Southside Chicago.
On the playground where he spent most of his days.
I'm still trying to figure out how the hell did that happen. But go ahead.
He said to be called woke and overlook all of the misfortune and tragedy and trauma in the world is an insult.
And he's right.
Well, I ain't never had to be woke because I never went to sleep, but that's another topic. Bean pie, my brother?
Bean pie.
Do we have to get the shirt out, Kev?
Bean pie. You're getting bean pie, my brother.
Hold up.
I had bean pie one time, and I didn't even know I ate a bean pie.
Hold on. I gotta switch this up right quick. You don't mind if I switch this up right quick?
Yeah. You see what I was going.
No. I don't know what you're gonna do. You better not do it.
Okay.
Won't life matter.
You can get your autograph Bean Pie hat right here. Won't Lives Matter. And we're just an injury. You can get you an autographed Bean Pie milkshake sweatshirt and a thermos for $59.95. Bean Pie, my brother.
Bean pie.
Won't Lives Matter.
Won't life matter.
Around here, we say mustard.
You know what? You can get you an autographed mustard bottle with a bean pie on it. It's biodegradable and it's good for your stomach. Won't Lives Matter.
Don't blame me for this shit. These two clowns right here.
Look. Hashtag woke lives matter.
Hashtag woke lives matter. Look at outside. Oh man. Boy, and look, I'm gonna tell you right now. I'm just gonna let you know like this. Don't wear that shirt at a Klan rally because it ain't gonna go well. You're gonna have an entourage.
Oh, look, here you go. Oh, you pay your bills on time? You must be one of them white folks.
You mean to tell me you got grass cut and bushes trimmed? Yeah, you definitely one of them Klansmen.
Here's another one right here. So I can't tell though, almost got a fight at LA Fitness over a basketball.
Look, man.
Man, we almost got in the fight. Well, somebody wanted to fight us at that LA Fitness.
Right.
You talking about D Law Nas where he talking about he said he wanted to run the fade at LA Fitness.
Right.
But the thing about it was he made the request on a Friday afternoon at 2:00 of the LA Fitness off of Wesley Chapel.
Look, bro, some dude told me to meet him on the west side, pull up. I'm like, bro, you do know if I come on the west side, it ain't gonna be right? Well, what would we do? Like for real. And then the Ghost Pepper's like, he said, here, my brother, you're lost, eating all that pork is bad for your wife in the background. Hey, baby, you want that pork chop, baby?
I got all these goddamn Umar Johnson ass niggas out here. Donations.
Wait, Kev, you got to say it again.
Donations.
To the school, the FDMF Academy, we need donations. To the FDMF Academy, we need donations. To the FDMF Academy, we need donations. And we don't need donations from you snow bunnies. We don't need donations from you snow bunnies. We don't need donations from you snow bunnies. Wait, my bad, is that damn wolf. Boy.
I swear that motherfucker is slow, bro. Look. The more I be looking at this social media shit, the more I realize they goddamn Charleston White is about damn near the sanest thing I've ever seen.
It's him and Cat Williams.
And that's scary. That's it.
Right. You him and Cat Williams. You put them two together, that's gonna if you put Charleston White and Cat Williams on the same comedy stage, that right there would be $1 billion show. I would watch that 8 hours straight.
You got these goofy hotep. You get these goofy hotep niggas talking about they gonna boycott the city of goddamn Maryland because the bill for the study of reparations didn't go through, and now they talk about boycotting fucking Maryland and shit.
Look. I'm gonna give y'all some business sense right quick. If any of y'all have ever been to Las Vegas, put some red and black in the chat. If you've ever played in any slot machine or any casino, the rule of the casino is the house always wins. Here's the problem that I was talking with Mike and them about reparations. When reparations was actually supposed to be given out in late 1800s, it was supposed to be a measure of money, a couple of farm animals, and land, because at that time farm animals was currency. And to have a farm meant that you could make money off of the animals and the goods, plus the land was an asset. It was an asset that should be handed down from generation to generation. What the United States found out was, why are we giving away free land to slaves, even if they served this country? Because guess what? They were going to do away with a lot of the military papers anyway. So the portion of it had been eradicated. Fast forward. The house always wins because nowadays TV and social media have raised the two generations into thinking that wealth is whatever TV tells you wealth is. So if they give you a bunch of money, you're gonna give it right back. And people want money because it's a quick fix. But if you're smart, the people like us want land, because land you're not gonna spend land. You either gonna sell it or you're gonna cultivate it. And depending on what area you're in, if it's under a grandfather clause, meaning that if the state wants to come through your land with a highway, you can lease it to the state and still make money. But a lot of people don't know that. Why? Because you're not going to read. So they're going to give y'all money. If you get a lump sum, guess what you're going to do? Without any training, you're going to go buy the stupidest shit to make you feel like you've made it and you're going to give it all back. And then I told Mike and them, some of y'all going to get so damn desperate, you going to lose your reparations and then go on Facebook and start a GoFundMe to get your reparations back.
No, like I said, if you want to know the definition of the worst parts about it, go look at the Chappelle show when they did the shit.
Man, listen.
That man said, truck driver, I'm a janitor. I just bought this whole truck straight cash. Now me and my family got cigarettes to last us for the rest of our lives. I'm rich, bitch.
Right. Right. Knowing that half your family ain't gonna finish smoking all them cigarettes and most of y'all gonna be dead. You ain't got no will set aside. You ain't got no trust. So when you die, the state gonna take you right back and repo the truck and sell it to the state.
That shit had me rolling.
Right. Look, man, I'm telling you, this is the stuff y'all don't know about us. See, we're really smart people in real life. We just act silly on the show.
Like I said, we act like dumb niggas. Yeah, I mean, most of the people in these spaces look at us as a bunch of hoodlums. That's the reputation we have in this spaces. We a bunch of ghetto hoodlums.
Corey said, "Hell no, I need my reparations ASAP. My family got land." Look, I'm telling you not what I know, what I heard, what I know from people that I know. I'm telling you, I know a lady right now that owns land that's Interstate 75 crosses, and trust me, that is money. That's money. I'm learning from people that have already done it. That's what I'm telling y'all. If you sitting up here waiting on the government to give you reparations, guess what they're gonna do? Just because you don't understand, they're gonna give you reparations, which is supposed to be tax free. They're gonna tax you on the reparations. You know how mad you got to be? I got a reparation check, but they tax me FICA.
And I'm gonna tell y'all something. The first thing that you have to do, and the first thing that we have to do is we have to repair the family structure in our community. That's the very first step right there.
Say it again, Kel.
You have to repair the family. You have to repair the family unit, the community first and foremost.
Mm-hmm. They don't even know about that. Do y'all know?
If you want that reparation style of things, you have to repair. You have to repair the community. You have to repair a family unit first and foremost.
Mm-hmm.
This
No
is the
more booty
step.
hunting. Yeah.
You said what?
No more booty hunting.
Mm-mm. See,
Yeah, if you're gonna do that, you're gonna do that. But the thing about it is, like I said, everybody knows that in order for a community to thrive, the family is the number one thing that has to be had.
But here's the problem. But here's the problem. People don't understand words. The family is the center of community. Community means to commune, which means to be around other people. But what you don't understand is that community, however big or however small, is solely responsible for the raising of the children, which means that each person in each family has a different tradition, has a different skill set. You pass that on to the children in the community so that they grow up, they have families, and they pour back into the community. This is why the Asian, this is why even the Russian, the Italian, the Irish, this is why they got 12 generations at the same family restaurant. Because when you was outside acting crazy, Mr. So-and-so down the street was like your second or third uncle. He could call your mom and tell you been acting an ass, and he could yoke your ass up and take you home. And your mama knew that Mr. So-and-so was going to have enough wherewithal not to abuse you, but to bring you home. We had communities. I couldn't go nowhere in them projects and act a damn ass. Why? Because somebody would tell my grandmother and they would yoke my ass up and take me home. And then I get two whippings. But see, y'all don't understand community because you're trying to live by yourself, and you're living by
I'm talking
yourself.
about booty hunting.
Yeah.
What I'm about booty hunting.
That and trauma. What do you think Big Mama was? Big Mama told your ass trauma happens, stuff happens, families forever. Shut your ass up and go outside and play. That what Big
Yeah,
Mama said.
that's it. Everybody booty hunting. Everybody want the next piece of ass. In other words, all right.
Actually, they wanted to ask that somebody just finished moving.
Yeah, that's all I mean by that. When we talk about booty hunting, like everybody, instead of teaching the next person something and committing to that and making the next generation better, we booty hunting.
Like I
That's
said, don't right. So in the final words I say is don't ever be the victim, be the successor.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta have a, like you said, for every trial and tribulation that you have, don't wallow in the victimhood. Find the solution. And if you
Yep.
find the solution, everything works out. And the problem is with a lot of this social media shit, whether it be the woke community, whether it be the liberals, whether it be the hotep community, whether it be whatever community you see on here bitching and moaning. Everybody wants to be the victim, but nobody wants to have the solution.
Mm-hmm.
And it goes back to what Juan just said. If everybody is a victim, that's big money for those that perpetuate the victimhood.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, before we kind of close it, I want to respond to this. This is not even true. The fact is, everybody afraid of God. That's why they ignoring it. That's
Hmm.
the fear of change, the fear of not being able to do what you want to do is driving people. They fear God. They are scared. They are afraid of change, and that's what quote unquote a lot of people don't want you to do. All right, so like I
Yeah.
said, the fear is what's driving people not to focus on it. Everybody knows what's real. The fact is ignoring what's real.
Yeah, well, they fear in two ways. Most people think it's a healthy fear. It's a fear of judgment, because when you go to him, you have, once you repent, you got to change, and change comes with sacrifice, and sacrifice is painful. So for you to give up your heathen ways and become pure, you're going to endure pain, because you're going to be shunned by the people that you just left. You're going to be by yourself, and then you're going to be responsible for making sure you make good decisions from there on. So it's the pain of change that they're afraid of, because we all gonna get judged, whether we think we are or not. But it's the pain of change once you come to him.
Hmm. It's the fear of accountability.
Yeah, because accountability comes with sacrifice. There's gonna be something you're gonna have to let go of.
Right. But I'm kind of glad we had this conversation because it actually gonna lead to a conversation I really do want to have about this. And we're gonna go ahead and close the show, but I definitely do want to talk about this new thing that's been going on here the last week and a half. I wonder, have you heard about the new phrase that's been going on the last couple
No,
weeks?
I don't want to know.
I think I know what it is.
Well, pretty much, the new phrase that's going on right now is this thing called black fatigue, and I do want to have a conversation on
Oh
that.
boy. Oh boy.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
heard
yeah,
that.
yeah. We'll
Yeah.
talk about this. We'll talk about this offline. But we'll
Mm,
definitely do a show on this because I do want to chime in on this and kind of give you the real on. Yeah, black fatigue. That's like a new. If you type in black fatigue on YouTube, if you go
yeah.
to X, Facebook, and type in black, believe me, it's all over the damn place.
All
Yeah.
I'm gonna say is y'all not gonna be ready for what I'm gonna say about black fatigue, because I heard some people talking about it. I heard some people
Hmm.
talking about it. Again, I'm gonna leave you with this. If we getting our final thoughts out,
Mm-hmm.
Pay attention to the words you put together. Okay? If we understood what words really mean and you put them together, you less inclined to hit sin, like OG Sam would say.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Be careful what you put together.
Because two words put together can have a multitude of different meanings.
Yeah. And a lot of times people can't live up to it.
All right, Mike, you got any final words? Like final thing you want to say? Hey, Jay, we're gonna talk about that later on in the week about who we want to see in the NBA Finals. We're gonna talk about that later in the week, so you can hold on to that. Anything else you want to get out the way, Mike, before we get up on out of here?
Look, we don't see it, everything.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right, people. So we definitely appreciate y'all. This is the Originators. We kind of had an STS moment the last 15, 20 minutes of the show. Like I said, definitely appreciate y'all tuning in. Make sure you go ahead and continue to support Mad Mike Sports, Mr. Tactician 78, 6MK Live, and the rest of the Unholy Alliance.
Hey, Kev,
It's
can I
just,
say something?
what's up?
I want to thank y'all, man, for making sure y'all like, share, and subscribe to the family. I'm 9 away from 200, so I would appreciate y'all. If y'all have not subscribed, make sure you subscribe to Mr. Tactician 78. I'm gonna be dropping them shorts on you. Make sure you check out the lives as well. I greatly appreciate each and every one of you for subscribing. Hey, man, help me get to 200. Like I said, these brothers working hard with me to help me get there. So I thank you guys as always.
hmm And like I said, man, as the Unholy Alliance over here, we rather pray for you than pray on you. And on that note, we ain't here to play.
Oh no.
We here to stay.
Oh yeah, nigga.
You ain't gotta go home.
But be the solution in your home. We out.
Deuces.
I told y'all. Bad Mike told you time and time again.